want to make this abundantly clear. If you voted for Trump, do not ever speak to me ever again.
If you're my friend, if you think that we're friends and you voted for Trump, I can assure you that we're not, and I fucking hate you. And I will tell that to your face. Just remove me at this point, because I'm not gonna talk to you about it.
Oh, better watch your hair in a jar on my nightstand.
I don't know which one of you needs to hear this, but apparently it's more than one. If you are one of the people commenting on my stuff and saying, Kaylin, even though I voted for Trump, I just want you to know that I still love you and I wish you the best. I just want you to know you have a parasocial relationship with me. You don't know me at all, because if you met me in real life, I wouldn't like you. I'm gonna say it again. If we met in real life, I wouldn't like you. I have like gaydar, but with Trump supporters. It's like, I can suss it out usually. If you are coming into my comments and you're hoping that there's a safe space for you there, I want you to know that there's not. Anyways, I'm just here to tell you that you don't like me as much as you thought you did, because I wouldn't like you in real life.
Trump voters who are upset that their loved ones, their neighbors, their friends, their book talk girlies are cutting them out, are blocking them, and you don't understand why. You don't understand why we can't just be nice to each other despite politics. We are making healthy boundaries to protect ourselves from people who will actively work against our safety, the health, well-being, and lives of our community members. We cannot change your behavior. You have shown you will be complicit in your own oppression, and that makes you dangerous.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and back to a brand new video with a brand new mic. Hey. So as you saw from the intro, Lord have mercy, we're going to be talking about a phenomenon that I've been seeing for quite some time now, ever since Donald Trump got elected almost a week ago now today. And it's of liberals, particularly liberal women, who have decided to cut off their entire family. I'm talking about moms, pops, brothers, sisters, neighbors, sometimes children, friends that you've been with for 30 years. Doesn't matter. If you voted for Donald Trump, that is the deciding factor, and we no longer can be friends. I don't want to see you. I don't want to look at you. I don't want to smell you. I don't want to be in your proximity. Stay away from me. You are dangerous. And in this video, I want to talk about why that perspective literally does nothing for yourself, for the country, and for humanity. All it does is make you look like a crazy person.
Hold on, I got a Ku Klux Klan member on my page. Let me block this Ku Klux Klan member.
If you're voting for Trump, I hate you. Politics is that deep. It's been that deep. It's always been that deep. Like, I don't care how long you've known me or if we cool, like, just fucking block me. Just block me right now. Like, I hate you. I fucking hate you.
You knew the house was burning down.
See, the main flaw with this whole I'm gonna just cut everybody out of my life that doesn't agree with me is, first of all, you can't grow from that perspective, right? Like, there's no way that you can possibly think that that's productive, to just cut every single person out. It doesn't matter why you voted for Donald Trump. It doesn't matter what your issues were. It doesn't matter what your family situation is like. Doesn't matter. All that matters is you did something that didn't align with me. Me. And therefore you have to go now because I'm upset. And here's my way of addressing how angry I am. I'm gonna just cut you out of my life and make you suffer. Well, here's the irony. No one's suffering but you. Ta-da! I mean, honestly, right? People are not crying over the fact that their loved ones are now deciding to cut them out of their lives. What they're saying is, wow, I had no idea my loved one or my friend was that petty.
Christian or not, there is no reason why people should be unfriending or unfollowing people because of their political views. Because I've been called to love you no matter what, and I still do love you. Everything is my own opinion, and you're entitled to your own opinion.
If you want to go, baby, go ahead and walk out the door.
See, people who voted against Donald Trump voted against him for a litany of reasons, right? They feel like he's a danger to society. He's gonna come against women and their rights, which is false. He hates minorities, false. He's gonna bring back concentration camps, false. He's gonna put African Americans back in chains, false. He's gonna bring back Jim Crow, false. I mean, there are so many falsehoods with people's claims against Donald Trump. A lot of it is just fear tactics, right? And scare tactics and ways to get people controlled, which, by the way, happens from legacy media, which is extremely left-wing and left-leaning, and they have an agenda. And their agenda is not to give the news. Their agenda is to give you propaganda that you were supposed to believe and take in. And another point to make about this is Trump supporters didn't just come out of nowhere, right? This wasn't like, oh my God, I don't understand. They just came out of nowhere in one night. Where did they come from? We've always been here. The difference is, in our society today, it is far more acceptable to have left-leaning, extreme liberal views. You can speak it on platforms, on social media, you won't get deplatformed. You are celebrated. It is socially acceptable in college, in the workplace, to be a left-leaning person. For people who are more conservative, for people who support Donald Trump, for people who have a different perspective, if it's not left-leaning, it gets shunned. You get looked at like you're crazy, like you got two heads. If you're on social media and you're an influencer, you will lose everything. If you're an actor or a singer, you risk losing your endorsements. You risk losing your career. So why would people who are used to getting yelled at and shouted at and told that they're Hitler lovers and fascists and evil and everything else under the sun, why would they willingly want to even have a conversation and talk about their views with you? They're not. They're going to let you spew your crap and then they're going to go vote. And when it comes to losing things, I have direct experience with this. I'm going to share my story just a little bit with you guys. So for those of you who are new to my channel or don't know much about me, before getting into political and social commentary videos, I used to solely do curly hair content. And I was making pretty good money. I had a specific brand that would pay me up to $800 to $1,000 a month to do ads for them once a month. So I would do like 1 or 2 ads on a campaign, a quick reel on Instagram, and I would get paid $800. Like that's literally how easy the money was, because they loved my hair and they wanted to showcase me, and I was on websites. Like I was making pretty good money as a side income or a side hustle being an influencer with hair. But what happened was I started to change my perspective on things when it came to social and economic issues. I started to educate myself more on what was happening in the school system, on what was happening with the transgender agenda when it comes to children and transitioning kids, putting them on Lupron, which is a medical castration that they give to pedophiles. I started doing more research and I started to be disgusted with what the left was okay with. And at that point in time, I definitely was more left-leaning. See, growing up, I was more conservative. I started to move away from the right and I was more centered. And then as I started getting involved more in social media and just media in general, I became more left-leaning. And I kind of just lost my way with the right. And I just, you know, was chilling over here on the left. So I started doing curly hair content in 2020 when the pandemic happened. Then I got educated on things that were happening. And in doing that research, I started to really, you know, question things, and I made a choice. And I said, I'm going to publicly start talking about things that I'm seeing online that I don't like. I was hopeful that in coming forward and speaking my truth, it wouldn't be a big issue, but I also knew it was a risk. I knew that me speaking out could get me canceled and I can get a backlash from my community of influencers when it comes to hair and skincare. And like clockwork, that's exactly what happened. So I did a video. I had watched Matt Walsh's What is a Woman, which goes deeply into the whole transgender movement and how they target children, and just, it's an amazing documentary. And I started posting clips of the documentary with my own commentary to it, speaking up and speaking out about children transitioning and why I'm not okay with that, you know, like leave kids alone. And I want to say within maybe 24 to 48 hours, I lost every single sponsorship that I had, like that. I mean, I was canceled right away. I lost everything. I remember writing the company that I used to work for that would, you know, pay me every month, asking them, hey, do you have any more campaigns for me? What's going on? And it was just radio silence. And by the way, prior to that, they would talk to me immediately. I would write them, I would get a response. All of a sudden, it was as if they didn't know me. And I knew exactly what was going on. And I was kind of prepared for that, so I understood. But of course, it was still hurtful, right? Because I'm like, man, I can't even have an opinion. Like, unless my opinion matches your leftist opinion, I can't have a space here. I can't speak. So I learned early on that if I wanted to be successful, if I wanted to coexist, I had to be quiet, pretty much, right? And I had to be silent. Well, that wasn't gonna happen. So I leaned in to my perspectives, and I changed my whole channel up. I went from hair content to political and social commentary content, and my page took off, my channel took off, because I was authentically myself, as I still am, and I was talking about issues that a lot of people wanted to talk about, but were too scared to talk about because they would get in trouble or get canceled or lose their job and what have you. I can't tell you how many times I get people who write me in DMs saying, I love your stuff, I wish I could say what you're saying, but I can't. Or, oh my God, you're saying exactly what I've been wanting to say for so long, and there's no space to even say this stuff without getting in trouble, and I love the fact that you're just saying it. So I'm not shocked by the results of this election because I've said this before. This election was a rejection of the left, of cancel culture, of woke culture, of this need to control our language and how we speak, what we say, what we're allowed to say. It's a very communist controlled big government movement on the left, which most Americans are not fans of. Shockingly, of course not. But if you live in an echo chamber like people on the left, they're going to be shocked by this. You don't know what exactly happened. I'm so confused. So it really is just a difference of perspectives. But here's my problem with people who are cutting family members off and friends off of 30 years, right? You have to be an extremely narcissistic person to believe that only your issues matter. And how dare you vote based on the interests of your family and yourself? It's okay for these women and these liberal men to vote for their issues, right? And what matters to them. But other people can't do that if it doesn't align with their perspective. Case in point, if you live in an area or a town that is right by a border state, or you're in a border state and you see what's happening at the border as far as the crisis, most likely your biggest issue as a voter is going to be security and the border. It's not going to be abortion. It's not going to be LGBTQIA rights. It's not going to be transgendered issues. It's going to be the border because you are directly affected by that. A person living in a different part of the country who isn't affected by the border, who has the luxury and the privilege to only vote based on some other issue, is it okay to then say, if you live in the border state, that you want my family dead, you want me dead, because you're not voting based on my safety at the border? No. A logical person would say, okay, you're voting on that issue because that issue speaks to you. It doesn't speak to me, it speaks to you, so I get it. But this issue directly affects my family and myself, so I'm voting this way. You vote your way, I'll vote my way, and we coexist. That's normally how democracy works when it comes to elections. But according to the left, their version of democracy is you must think like me, you must speak like me, and you must vote like me. And if you don't, you are the devil, and I want nothing to do with you. And seeing liberals losing their ever-loving minds over that is both comical and sad at the same time, because how out of touch can you be as a human being to not understand why people voted how they did? People are just excited about the fact that they're kicking people out of their lives.
You actively voting against my rights. You are not my friend, and you are not my family. Do not speak to me ever again.
So this girl I actually knew personally. So I met her back in 2022 while I was still doing curly hair content on Instagram and on YouTube. And she also was a curly hair influencer on the same platforms. So we just, naturally met and we're cool with each other. So at one point in time, I started pivoting away from the curly hair content and she noticed that. And I guess because she wanted to grow herself, she was like, hey, can you help me out? I want to pivot away from curly hair content as well. I'm really passionate about being child-free and I want to start doing child-free content. And I'm not sure how to go about doing that. I'm kind of nervous, I'm kind of scared because it's different and I don't want to lose followers and stuff like that. And so I gave her my advice. I gave her motivation. I told her, go do what you got to do. If you are passionate about it, go do it. I believe in you. You can do it. I gave her advice. I gave her tips on what to do and what I did. Now, I didn't know at the time what her political leanings were, as she didn't know mine. But of course, as she saw my video, she started realizing, oh, he's more conservative. And she's not. She's very, very, very liberal with her perspective on things. And she was very left-leaning, very anti-men. I'm a true believer in freedom of speech and the First Amendment. And I believe that every single person, if you have a platform, use it. I don't care what the issue is. Every American has a right to speak their truth and to have an opinion without being deplatformed. Fast forward to this election. So she kept posting a lot of anti-Trump, anti-MAGA, anti-right-wing stuff, like some extreme stuff. And I'm gonna show you guys some videos of it. And it's really, really like just, wow, okay? No substance, just I hate you, F you, pretty much. Okay, again, that's her opinion, that's fine. So about 2 or 3 days before the election, she had posted a video stating that if you vote for Donald Trump, you are no different than a KKK member and you voted the same way as the KKK.
You voted for a candidate endorsed by the KKK. For the rest of your life, you have to know that you voted the same way as the KKK.
Sure. So at that point in time, I was like, you know what? Let me just respond to this one little video that she just made really quickly. I'm not going to be mean. I'm not going to be nasty. I'm going to just, you know, try to have a dialogue with her. Because we had never in the past done that. So I wrote her and I was like, hey, you know I love you, but remember the Democrat Party was a party that fought for slavery, not against it. Just saying. Because she was claiming that Republicans are KKK members. So I'm thinking, okay, she may not like my comment, but maybe we can have a discussion about it, right? Because she's been open about her anti-Republican stance on everything. And I haven't blocked her, so maybe we can just talk about it. Yeah, the next day she blocked me. The very next day. So I got canceled again by a friend. And I thought to myself, wow, how sad. We've been friends this whole time. I helped you out when you didn't know what to do, how to even make videos outside of curly hair content. I gave you advice. I gave you advice on what to do, on how to pivot, on different tips that I used that helped me grow. And she used me for those things that helped her grow and then blocked me when it was convenient for her to block me, when she had enough followers, I guess. So, and that's fine. That's her right. She wants to protect her peace. Go ahead and do that. Protect your peace. But I just think it's sad. I think it's sad that we're closing doors on people who we once were cool with for the simple fact that they have a different perspective than us. And rather than trying to sit down and understand that perspective and have a conversation, instead we're just, I'm not talking to you. I hate you. Go to hell. Okay. Of course, the ultimate irony of all of this is that they're calling us fascists and all of these stupid names, but they themselves are mimicking what communism looks like. When a big government tells you how to think, how to speak, how to talk, how to vote. And everybody else marches in tune, like the left does. And now that they've lost, they don't know what to do with themselves. So I'm going to just cut everyone out of my life. End of story. Okay, do that. Enjoy yourself. I have no right to tell you as an individual voter how you should be voting. That's not my right. And again, for a party that keeps fighting for democracy, when democracy was shown to them and the people spoke, they couldn't handle it. So they don't want democracy, no. They want a dictatorship. Think like us, talk like us, vote like us. Well, I got news for you. That ain't gonna happen. Not in this century. But let me know in the comments down below what you think of this video, and are you having any personal effects of what I'm talking about? Like, are people in your personal life cutting you out because they found out that you voted for Trump? If so, I would love to know your story down below. If you enjoy my content, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you know when I post a brand new video. Until next time.